Hi everybody, this is Regal. I'm in Madrid at my home studio and I'm gonna show you how I did my track DAs on my debut EP on B-Pitch Control. First of all, I have my sidechain kick during the whole track, which is just a very easy kick, the same pattern as the main kick. Then I have the main kick, which here sounds pretty poor actually, and what I did is I add some EQ, cutting the high frequencies just to have the low frequencies here. Then I add some compression as well, some overdrive to give this crispy sound, and then some more EQ, and now the kick sounds totally different. Then I have the high kick just to give some attack, and it's just a normal kick and basically the same as before, some EQ, cutting some of the low frequencies, a little bit the high frequencies, then some compression and some overdrive as well. Then I have two bass lines. This is like the main bass line. This is how it sounds without effects, which is pretty raw. So what I did, this bass line, by the way, is a pretty easy pattern here by Element, really cool synth, and I add some EQ, cutting basically all the high and mid frequencies and leaving just the low frequencies, just to have this sub under the kick. Then I have some compression as well, overdrive, sidechain compression, and I have this amplifier which is only active on some points, like for example here. You can really hear the difference. This is with the amplifier on and then without. Okay. Then we have a second bass line here. It's just for two parts of the track. It's not for all the track. It's also really raw. So basically everything together will sound like this. This is with the first bass line and this is with the second. Then we have clap and snare. This is the clap. You see, it's like really poor clap. So what I did here is some EQ, cutting a bit the high frequencies and a bit low frequencies as well. Some compression, bit more EQ here, just going up with the high mid frequencies and high frequencies. And some more compression as well. As you see, this is a bit harder compression. And then I have this amplifier to give some crispy and metallic sound. And then I have this very cool reverb, which actually I put it on the same channel because I wanted to have a big reverb. So yeah, this is how it sounds. And then we have the snare. It's also normal snare from my loop collection. So basically it's the same effects as the clap. Some EQ here, cutting a bit the high frequencies and going up a little bit with the mids. Some compression, More EQ here, just going up a little bit with the high frequencies and mid frequencies here, and another compressor here, and I also add this amplifier for giving a crispy sound, and also the same reverb I used for the clap. So I also have this beat repeat effect that is only going on the first part of the track, and it gives a really cool effect. Just listen to this. It gives this repetition of snare under the original sound, and I use it only on the first part of the track, and also this filter. Just for some parts of the track. So if we listen to the kick and the snare, it will be something like this. So now it have this breakbeat drum and bass sound. Then we have the hi-hats, and we have 4 types. The first one is the 808 hi-hat. It's pretty normal. This is the first pattern. And then we have the second one here, with 2 open hi-hats. And what I did here is just some EQ, cutting a bit the high frequencies I didn't like. You see here. I have the sidechain compressor and some more EQ here, going up with high mid frequencies and low mid frequencies as well, and the amplifier for the crispy sound. I basically use the amplifier on all the tracks, all the elements on this track, because I wanted to have this crispy and distorted sound. Then we have a shaker from the 707, it's this one, and almost the same, some EQ, cutting up the high frequencies, and also there were some frequencies I didn't like these ones. You can notice the difference. It's just this peak here. Sidechain compressor, another EQ, and the amplifier. And then I have the autopan, like a really fast autopan, so it can go from left to right pretty fast and gives a little bit of movement in the background. Then we have the rides here. Like, I really like this kind of ride or cymbal, or call it as you want it, for a drum and bass or breakbeat track. So the only thing I did here is add some EQ, cutting some frequencies I didn't like this one. So I think it sounds better like this. Then I have the shaker here, which is actually I think it's a loop. Yeah, it's a loop. It's just a small slice from this big loop. This is how it sounds, the whole loop. So basically I just took this small part of the hi-hats and basically add the same effects as the previous tracks, some EQ, cutting a bit these frequencies here I didn't like, some sidechain compressor, more EQ here, just to go in a little bit up with the high mid and low mid frequencies, also with the high frequencies. Oh, there is this filter active, by the way, here, so you can hear this is without the filter and this is with the filter. But before there is the amplifier, so it gives this crispy sound. All together would sound like this. Then I have my beloved 303, which is directly recorded from my baby here, baby. And what I do basically is I open a new track, like this one, where is it, here, and I basically record straight, you know, from the machine, tweaking the knobs, and then I use it like a sample, just cutting some parts. As you see here, I cut this part of the sample, and on this part here is a different part of the sample. This is how it sounds. This is the second part. So I'm gonna show you how usually I do it. So usually with my 303 I used to add some distortion directly from my Marshall pedal through the mixer, but in this case I've recorded the 303 in the pure form, and I just add the distortion here. So let's see. What I did is some EQ, just cutting the low frequencies, some compression, just to avoid, you know, these high peaks from the 303 when you tweak the knobs, and then some sidechain compression as well. And here's my Max for Life distortion, which is really cool as well. Okay, then I have this synth, which is really easy synth, also from Element, and what I did is some EQ as always, just cutting the high frequencies. So it's like a more, you know, dark sound, let's say it that way. Some sidechain compressor, some overdrive as well. And I've added also this slow pan to open a little bit the sound, so you can hear the difference here. It's more stereo sound. And I did it only on some parts of the track, like this one. Really easy pattern, it's just to, you know, fill up the track. Then I have this pad, which is actually a sound that stays really in the background. I mean, you cannot really notice it properly. It's just, you know, a pad in the background of the track, and also from Element, really cool plugin. And I've added some EQ, cutting the low frequencies here, sidechain compressor, overdrive, and also a slow pan to open the stereo image of the sound. And on solo you can hear this is the pad, but when we put all the elements it stays really in the background. But then we have the main synth here, and it's a really cool synth. Actually, I love it because it really remembers me to the sound of Prodigy somehow. It's also from Element. Like, this sounds really bad, but what I did is just going down with the octaves. And then it has an LFO here controlling the cutoff. This is the sound without the LFO, and this is with the LFO. It changed totally the sound, so it's really cool. And so I add some EQ as well, cutting low frequencies and a little bit the high frequencies, sidechain compressor. I have this drive here, which also changed the sound a little bit. And I have also this vibrato, which is really cool in some parts. It makes a really cool effect. Basically slice the sound, you know, it makes like a super fast and heavy sidechain compressor. And I use it in some parts of the track, and I think it's really cool. And then the last part is this group of 5 loops, which I use to fill up the track in the background and give some more movement. And I will show you which loops I've used. This one is the first one that you can hear as the track starts. It's really dirty. I think it's really cool, and it fits with the crispy sound of the other elements. So I have this EQ here cutting the low frequencies and removing some frequencies I didn't like. And also the classic sidechain compressor, and that's it. That's all the effects that this loop has. Then we have this loop here, which is like, it's from this drums loop. And what I did is I just took the part with the snare and the hi-hats, and I've added some EQ as always and some sidechain compressor. You know, I removed some of the high frequencies because we already have the hi-hats, so we don't need these high frequencies here. And I add this crispy sound. And these high frequencies created by the amplifier will fit perfect with the hi-hat. And also with the volume I keep it a bit low, so as I said, it's used just to fill up the track in the background. So this is how it sounds without the loop, with the loop. Then I have this third loop here. Which is basically, you know, a big loop. So I cut some parts that I was not interested in it, and same as the previous loop. EQ here, cutting the low frequencies and a bit the high frequencies, sidechain compressor, and this amplifier here. So I will show you how it sounds. without the loop and with the loop. This is without the loop. With the loop. So as I said, it's just to fill the track, you know, fill up the track in the background. Then we have the fourth loop here, this one. This is also from a beat loop that sounds like this, the original sound. So I just took this part here and same as the previous one, sidechain compressor, some EQ, cutting the high frequencies, the low frequencies, and then some amplifier. Gives this crispy, really crispy sound. So it sounds like this without the loop. And then we have the last one. It's also from a long loop from a drum and bass collection that sounds like this. This will be like that. So I just cut this part here and I make it a shorter loop without the kick. Same, some sidechain compressor, EQ cutting all the high frequencies because we will give some more high frequencies with the amplifier here. And that's it. And then last but not the least, we have the vocals here, which are basically two samples, and I think they are really cool because they give these old school vibes.
Hey DJ, where's the bass? Hey DJ, where's the bass? Hey DJ, where's the bass? Hey DJ, where's the bass?
So basically what I did here is even if the sound has already a lot of noise, I add some amplifier to give
Hey DJ, where's the bass? Hey DJ,
this to get this distorted sound, cutting all the low frequencies, and then with the EQ I cut all the, you know, the peaks and stuff I didn't like from that distortion.
Hey DJ, where's the bass? Hey DJ, where's the bass? Hey DJ, where's the bass? Hey DJ, where's the bass?
And then the other loop.
Let's get scratching. Let's get scratching.
This was actually a long loop with a lot of scratch thing in here, and that was the last part of the loop, so I cut all the previous thing and I just leave this last part of the scratch. And I add, same as the other one, the amplifier to give the crispy sound here.
Let's get scratching. Let's get scratching. Let's get scratching. Let's get scratching.
And then the EQ, you know, cutting all the peaks from the distortion. And on my master track I have some saturation here, which I use only on some breaks of the part, and it gives a really cool movement and sound, especially to the main synth, like this one. It has, you see, some delay and LFOs going on, so it creates this kind of trippy sound in the background. You can hear the difference without. It's like, you know, it's totally flat, and with this one it creates some movement in the background. That's the track.